Istanbul, golden gateway to the Orient. This city was once the centre of the old world and still reflects 2.5 centuries of history. Today, this turbulent metropolis on the Bosporus is Europe's connection with Asia Minor. The Turkish capital once had sonorous names such as Constantinople and Byzantium. Today, this gateway between Europe and Asia has more than 15 million inhabitants and is not only Turkey's largest city, but also a melting pot of various cultures. A Greek colony, Roman Imperial City, and capital of the Osman Empire, Istanbul is full of colourful and dramatic history. Often referred to as the Pearl of the Orient, today it prefers to be known as a European metropolis. This city is worthy of more than a flying visit. It must be experienced to the full. It's a fascinating world between Occident and Orient. And the city's contemporary life manifests itself in progressive attitudes and much prosperity. Here, Oriental charm unites with a Western lifestyle. It's difficult to escape the hustle and bustle of the streets. The European-style city district on the northern side of the Golden Horn was founded as a trading colony by Genoese traders in 1261. In subsequent centuries, the Europeans dominated the appearance and character of this area, whose buildings and main street indicate the city's splendid past. The sight of nostalgic tramways transfers those who come here to bygone times when the upper classes lived in houses made of stone. This medieval tower was once the end of a fortified wall that the Genoese built around their settlement in the middle of the 14th century. From a viewing platform, there's a wonderful view across the historic splendour of past centuries, above the rooftops to the Bosporus, with its luxury liners and ferryboats. The medieval Galata tower has been renovated many times, but above the 5th floor it has retained its traditional Osmanic design. On the banks of the Bosporus, next to the Galata bridge, there is a great deal of fresh fish for sale. An adventure for both eye and nose. One thing is for sure, the city's inhabitants appreciate their abundant supply of fresh fish and all the haggling that goes along with it. Seagulls sit expectantly close to the fish stalls, waiting for a tasty snack. Following time-honoured tradition, water sellers in colourful traditional costume offer drinking water for sale. Hardly anyone buys the water, but these colourful characters are a good excuse for a photograph. On the opposite side of the Galata bridge on the banks of the Golden Horn is the Yeni Cami Mosque, with a large number of domes and minarets built one on top of the other. In front of the mosque, there are some friendly shoeblacks who, with their large, shining boxes, skillfully catch the attention of passers-by. Nearby, the European railway line terminates. Built in Art Nouveau style, the train station was until 1977 the final destination of the legendary Orient Express. The Grand Bazaar is a city within a city. Through a large gate, there is a labyrinth of corridors that were built over many centuries. This enclosed market contains more than 4,000 shops within its seemingly endless halls, and it's possible to buy almost anything here. A vivid world, full of the aromas of the Orient. Originally, there was just one market here, around which there were valleys and workshops. Eventually, the buildings were expanded and the streets were roofed in, until finally the entire complex was encircled by a wall. Next, the bazaar was extended right down to the Bosporus. Here the city is alive. Everything revolves around selling, and it's a traffic-free zone. The 6 slender minarets of the Sultan Ahmet Mosque rise up proudly into the sky and dominate Istanbul's silhouette, a masterpiece of Islamic architecture. This building, with its stepped domes and huge proportions, is an impressive sight. A sight that is also augmented by a fine courtyard. Elegant arcades frame the square, in the centre of which there is a hexagonal fountain in which the faithful once washed prior to prayer. Its more popular name, the Blue Mosque, was derived from its covering of 21,000 valuable blue wall tiles from Iznik. Four massive, 5-metre-thick columns, known as elephant feet, support the immense weight of the large central dome. Eight years in construction, the Blue Mosque was consecrated in 1617. It was then a brand new religious symbol in Istanbul. Several Byzantine palaces made way for this building. Not far away is another of the city's impressive landmarks, the Hagia Sophia. There are several legends about this building and its instigator Constantine. Its dome and walls were once covered with golden mosaics that made the building a unique historical monument. In 1453, one of the world's most extraordinary churches was transformed into a mosque by Sultan Mehmed and is today an impressive museum. Its dome is slightly oval and is 30 meters in diameter. It is directly in the center of the building and is supported by 4 huge pillars. Restored mosaics that depict Jesus are the highlight of each and every sightseeing tour. The Yerebatan cistern once provided Constantinople with its water supply. Emperor Justinian had this subterranean reservoir built, and it holds 80,000 cubic meters of water. A forest of 336 decorated stone columns support the ceiling, and it once served as a backdrop for a James Bond film. This mighty gate is the entrance to the splendid world of the Turkish sultans. Topkapi, the former center of power of the Osman Empire. It's like a small town, with many exquisite buildings and wonderful parks. The amazing wealth of the Osman monarchs is still evident today. The third court leads to the harem, the living quarters of the women and concubines. Topkapi Palace contains several priceless works of art, evidence of the power and influence of the sultans. A number of earthquakes and fires destroyed many sections of the palace, but much of it can still be visited today. On the city's third hill, and visible from all directions, is the Süleymaniye Camii, the most beautiful mosque in Istanbul and the city's largest Osmanic building complex. Sinan, the greatest architect of his time, referred to this building as his greatest achievement, and indeed this work brought him great acclaim. Its location offers a wonderful view to the Bosporus across the city's rooftops and domes. It is thought that Emperor Valens may have been responsible for its construction in the 4th century AD. But this aqueduct was most certainly in use prior to the Osman Empire, and it is one of the city's most impressive achievements. For 1,000 years, the ancient Theodosian wall Sur fended off all those who attacked the city, from the Marmara Sea to the Golden Horn. Yedikule, the Castle of Seven Towers, formed part of the city's fortifications. It protected the Porta Aurea, from where an exquisite street led to the centre of the city. The fortress and its large inner courtyard was built according to the most up-to-date specifications that the 15th century had to offer. Of its inner buildings, only the remains of a mosque have survived. Markets are still held in front of the old city wall, as in bygone times. Even the construction of a new street has not put an end to this traditional attraction. Later, the Byzantine emperors had their palaces built in close proximity to the wall. Tekfur Sarai is also part of a palace whose walls have been well preserved to the present day. Istanbul is synonymous with history, but it is also a fascinating modern city, and each of its districts have their own intriguing character. Beyond the city wall at the end of the Golden Horn is a destination for Islamic pilgrims. The mosque in the picturesque village of Eyup contains the grave of the highly revered Abu Eyup al-Ansari, the colour-bearer of the Prophet Muhammad. Only after they have completed the customary washing ceremony are the men allowed to enter this religious place of pilgrimage. In 1458, this grave provided the Osmanic capital with its religious connection to Allah's Prophet. Precious tile ornaments that date back to the 16th century adorn the entrance to this central burial place that over the years has been made even more beautiful. The adjacent hill is a city of graves. It is a special honour to be buried here, with a picturesque view across the Golden Horn. The hill is crowned by the charming Pierre Loti Cafe that is extremely popular thanks to its idyllic location. It was in this remote setting that the globetrotter, travel writer and womanizer Loti found inspiration. On the magnificent banks of the Bosporus, the Dolmabahce Palace shines out in all of its ancient splendour, solemnly guarded by a clock tower and a contingent of soldiers. Dolmabahce is the city's third largest sultan's palace. Istanbul's regal buildings are the most beautiful heritage of Osmanic architecture. Abundant decorations and reliefs adorn the huge stone gates. Marble lions guard the beautiful park in which the sultans once spent relaxing and pleasurable hours. It is typical of the royal houses of the Occident. In the middle of the 19th century, It was not considered to be fashionable to reside in the Topkapi Sarai. Thus, Sultan Abdülmecit ordered the finest architects to build this new palace. The magnificent, spacious entrance hall is similar to the architecture of the Paris Opera House, and its large, tall rooms indicate the power of the Sultan. Open arcades frame the large stairway, whose centre is crowned by the largest chandelier in the world. The beauty and splendour of the rooms, as well as the exterior of the building, is overwhelming. The luxury of 1,001 nights. The palace contains around 200 rooms, most of which have excellent views. Today the palace is part of the Turkish National Museum, and its wonderfully decorated facades and unique location on the Bosporus is a truly remarkable sight. Located on the European side of the Bosporus, Ortaköy has developed into a popular meeting place. It has several bars and restaurants. The mosque is still the centre of this village-like city district, and it is overshadowed by the structure of the gigantic bridge to Asia that was built in 1973. Sultan Abdülmecit had this neo-Baroque mosque built close to the water so that he could reach it safely by boat. In the 17th century, those who lived here appreciated the beauty of the landscape, the mild climate and the woodland on both sides of the Bosporus. To reside here was the privilege of the elite. High above the narrowest section of the Bosporus is the mighty fortified complex of Rumeli Hisari, the river's former military checkpoint. But after the fall of Constantinople, the fortress lost its strategic significance. But today, it is a popular tourist attraction. Leonardo da Vinci's vision of a bridge across the Bosporus was for many years only a dream. But 470 years later, the dream became reality. At a height of 64 meters, two city districts have been united as one. Two continents have been joined and can now experience the contrasting lifestyles of two completely different worlds. Asia and Europe are only separated by a channel that connects the Marmara with the Black Sea, and spanned by the largest chain bridge in Europe. The border between both continents is as seamless as the waters of the Bosporus. The face of the city is constantly changing, but its contrasts remain. It has survived for 2,600 years, the world's only city that is situated on two continents. Istanbul, a melting pot of culture and religion, with a captivating allure and an atmosphere of mystique, a metropolis of the soul.